All praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Makar Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elected nation of Israel. I'm going to be talking about how all these scoffers are against the Israelites right now. But in time to come, man, they're going to be against each other. Because these people really think that we're the problem of this earth, and they think that they're all unified in their thought process and all of that. But when what happened in March came, right, when this so-called disease went through the earth and everybody was running around, scattering around, yeah, it became very clear instantly that you people are not as loving as you make out, man. Because you people was hogging all the toilet roll, hogging all the waters, hogging all the hand sanitizer gel. You people was going around licking vegetables in the store, spitting on vegetation in the store, diving all over the fruit and veg, right? Trying to make other people sick, hoping that you could make other people sick, right? You people was coughing in people's face. You women was wearing your thongs across your face and all of that. You people was being weirdos. And that showed that you people are not as loving as you make out, man. You're good actors. And you've got a different thought process that you have every single different room that you enter into. So if an Edomite's in front of a Muslim, right, he's gonna try and play the Christianity card in front of them. But then if they're in front of an atheist, then they're gonna try and play, oh well, God forgives all at the end of the day. They've got a little different technique everywhere that they go, man. Whereas we just say the same thing no matter who we're talking to, man. We don't need to be scared of you people. We ain't scared to say that we believe what the Bible says, man. Now that don't mean that we're just going to be talking about it every single place that we go, but we don't have to. We don't care about some of the same things that you care about. We don't care if you call us racist, neither. So what if you call us racist? I don't care. So what? So what if you say that? That don't mean nothing. 2 Timothy chapter 15 and verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. Now that's going to be all of you people out there. All of you people that are scoffing the word of the Bible, that you think that you're friends with people, that you think that your neighbor is really your friend. You people are going to be fighting against each other. And when that lockdown came, you people was enemies anyway. And some of you people were snitching on your neighbor, man, getting angry that he's coming out his house without a mask on in his car. You know, when you was in the supermarket, you had people getting angry because people ain't keeping a 2 meters distance, right? You had people getting angry that people ain't so-called following the rules. You had people blaming people and that. You had people calling people anti-Vias. You had people saying all these things, man. So you people ain't really as unified as you make out. You fake nice. You people are fake nice, man. It's much more easing to be around people that tell it like it is. That just tell you straight up. If you're annoying them, they tell you you're annoying them. If you got something about you that needs to fix up, they'll tell you that too. It's better to be around somebody like that than a fraud that's gonna fake nice, but really they're raven in wolves, man. A wolf in sheep's clothing type people. Verse 16: For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So there's gonna come a time where any evil thought that people have in their mind, they're gonna be able to enact that thought. And a good movie that shows this is the movie Purge, man. And in the movie Purge, there's hardly anyone that's proud, man. Everyone's scared in that movie, man. And that's a very good movie, man. TV shows like The Walking Dead and stuff like that, people might not be into the whole zombie thing, but that post-apocalyptic mindset is a very good mindset to think about, man, because that's the kind of mindset that's real, according to how the world really works, not this fake way that people pretend it is. That shows the real way how it goes, man. Where when people have got scarcity, they lose the plot and all that nice stuff. Women and children first on the boats and all that. That stuff goes right down the pan. It's who's strongest in that time. But the real way how it's gonna go down, how it's gonna make it go down in this time, that's how it isn't normally. But how it's gonna go in this time is gonna be who's got the most faith in him. Is gonna be what's gonna handle and win in that time. Not who's the strongest. Oh, I've went gym. I've been doing kettlebell exercises for 12 years waiting for this. No, that's not it. Oh, I've been at the gun range for 7 times a week preparing for this, preparing for when SHTF. No, that's not going to get you out of it neither. I've been stacking up tins of beans and I got them all vacuum bagged beef jerkies, right? And I've been storing it up for 7 years. I'm ready. And if you ain't been preparing for the last 7 years like me, then you've got no hope in hell, mate. That's not going to be what's going to make it. Because somebody else is going to find out about your vacuum packed sardines, your vacuum packed beef jerkies, your chicken satays and all that you've got scattered, your bags of wheat, your bags of rice, your tins of pleaches, right? Your tins of mango slice, your tins of peas, right? Your granola bars that you got stored away. Someone's going to find out about those and they're going to come and relieve you of that. And a lot of that stuff's being stored up anyway for men that believe in the Lord, that they're going to stumble upon that stuff and you're already going to perish, man. You're really storing that up for Israelites and don't even know it. You're storing that up for a member of the elect to eat and get sustenance from that for a time and then move to wherever Yahweh's got them next until they get beamed up in a chariot. Second book of Ezra's chapter 15 and verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Now, didn't that happen during the lockdown? Wasn't people wanting to try and go to one place, but they couldn't? And they was getting sent back? The police was like, nah, go back to where are you from here? What's your postcode? Okay, you're not from here. Go back to where you're from then. Go back to Europe. And aren't they making things over here in the UK 15-minute cities? I think they've said they're trying to make it in one in Leeds, right? And then they're trying to do one in Oxford as well now. Well, they started it in Oxford, but I think I've heard they're trying to do it in Leeds as well. So isn't that part of you not being able to leave your city? They're trying to divide the cities up like pizza slices. And I had a look at this place that I live right over here in the UK, right? And I had a look at it from Google Earth, and I didn't even notice. But it's damn near like on a grid, man. It's just it's like a small whole squared area. It's like one big square. And it would be quite easy to grid this place off, man, if they so wanted to do that. It would be easy for them to grid it off. The same thing with brothers over in London. They've said that the M25, I think they say that the M25 could quite easily be cordoned off so that people can't get out of it. And it goes the same for all of these different cities because they designed them in such a way, because this was the plan that they had in their mind all along, which they ultimately think is their plan. But really, that plan belongs to Yahweh, so that he could fulfill prophecy and make these things that are written of old time come to pass. Verse 18, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with a sword, and spoil their goods, because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Now, when it says neighbor here, it's literally talking about people that live around other people. So a man's going to have no pity upon his neighbor. He's not going to have no pity upon the people that he lives around, right? But he's going to destroy their houses with a sword and spoil their goods, meaning they've got something in their house, right? I'm not going to have pity upon the people that live around me, and I'm going to take what's theirs, so it's mine. That's what people are going to be doing in the time to come. Now, people don't want to accept that and they don't want to believe that. It don't matter. It's going to happen, because we already saw examples of it during the lockdown, man. People was hoarding up all the food. I saw people, I personally saw couples pretending that they're not together, right? And taking 2 trolleys into the shop to try and get 2 trolleys worth of food rather than 1 trolley's worth of food. Man, I've seen that. I've seen people doing that. So don't try and act like people ain't like that, because they are. People's going to the store 5 times a day to get water when the rule was that you're supposed to go and only get water once. But people are storing up loads, man, trying to be slick, which shows that when it comes to a time where there ain't no rule like that, and you can just go in there and rob it, that these people will ram their whole vehicle through the store windows and just stuff all the waters that they can through there. And what happened when there was a time where there was a petrol problem, right? Or where the oil price went up so high and that there was scarcity of oil? Was people not threatening each other with knives over here in the UK? Did people not threaten each other with weapons? Just everyday people saying, don't jump the queue, don't even talk to me, man, just shut up and get in your car. Wasn't people saying that? Wasn't the people jumping the queue and then people was like, mate, what are you doing? But if it was real at that time, some people would not be alive anymore because of that kind of stuff, man. Because that's the reality of the world. When it goes dark like that, a lot of people will not be around there no more, man. The people are going to be taking each other out, man. And it says it here, 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. And that's going to happen, man. Now, another time in history where we saw examples of this kind of stuff was during them lockdown, during that them riots, man. In like I think it was like 2010 or whatever. Them riots, man, that took place over in London, Birmingham, and I think Manchester, right? And I saw what some of the things that people was doing in Manchester, and I always mention this every now and again, man. I remember seeing, and for brothers that know Birmingham a bit, right? There's like the Birmingham market, man, that's in the city centre, right? Nearby the Selfridges, where they've got the big building, the Selfridges with the silver circles on there. Round by there, man, I saw this. I saw 4 to 5 guys. I think it was like 5 guys, man, and they was all like, they saw a man and a woman in a red car, and one of the men from that group, grabbed at the door handle and tried to open the car door, right? And then when it wouldn't open, he got on top of the car and started jumping on top of the car and on the bonnet and on the windscreen trying to jump on it, man. And then the driver drove off and ran through the red route through the red lights because it was an empty street anyway at that time. There wasn't really nobody on the streets like that. He just sped off and drove through the red lights, right, up the path towards leading towards past the Selfridges, man. And he just drove and sped his car off. And the man that was jumping in his car fell on the floor and got up and tried to run after the car. And he was giggling and laughing like a hyena the whole time that was taking place, man. Because he had been waiting on a time like that his whole life. And every now and again, I think about what he would have done. I would have wanted to know. Like I already kind of think I know what he would have did anyway if he would have got into that car. And then there was after that, I saw people grabbing a whole table tennis tables and slamming them into the damn walls and that. There was a whole bunch of madness going on, man. And when you seen things on the news, people was doing madness there too. When you all the things that you seen on the news, people was getting robbed. People was shooting at helicopters. People was doing all types of madness, man. And that wasn't even out of necessity. That was out of excess. There wasn't even no need for none of those people to be out there. I seen moms out there with their baby in the buggy. There was all kinds of crazy stuff, man. And I wasn't doing none of that looting, by the way, in case people want to try and say, see, this guy is a looter. I wasn't doing none of that. I wasn't doing it, man. I just remember wanting to see if people would really do that kind of stuff, man. And I saw it, and they would do that. They would do it, man. People will do that kind of stuff. And if people didn't know about it that time, well, then they end up getting to see an even greater example when the lockdowns came. So don't laugh at the Bible prophecies and try and laugh at all of these things, because the way how the world's going is leading to where people are going to be mad out here, man. And every single time a problem happens on the earth, what do you people always do? The same thing as usual. Store up all the toilet roll, store up all the waters. That's the main techniques. That's all you people know. Quick, honey, we have to get down to the store and buy all the toilet roll and all the water. And I even remember seeing as well, and so lucky if it sounds like I'm just talking about, I'm speaking about the things that took place in these times, man. I remember being in a Sainsbury's, man, right? In a Sainsbury's supermarket, and I remember even hearing the apostles of Great Millstone, them speaking about this over where they live when they don't even live in the same country as me. But I remember seeing over here in the UK, right, that people normally be quick to eat pork, don't they, in peacetime. But when all hell was breaking loose, and I was looking at the aisles and the shelves, the chicken was lower, the beef was low, like there was pretty much almost none of that stuff left, right? But there was a whole abundance of pork. There was every single pork item was still there, full. The pork section was full. So that's how you know that these people know that stuff is really wicked. And some of them was probably thinking, okay, maybe God will have mercy on us if we stop eating pork during this time. Some of them was probably thinking that, man. But I remember the whole pork being full still. So that's how you know that these people know that pork's wrong. But they try and play games, man. You people were shook in that time and tried to fake like you're righteous, but now you've gone back to being the same demons that you are, man. But it's gonna come another time, and there's gonna come a time where it don't switch off and go back to normal, man. And Yahweh was setting it up. Let me read this again from the top. Second Ezra chapter 15 and verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. So sedition is when people don't want to hear what the government's got to say. So there's gonna come a time where people know where a certain MP lives or whatever around their area, and they're gonna be like, man, I don't care what you say. The police are gonna be trying to tell people not to do things. Ladies and gentlemen, please return to your homes. Please return to your homes. The people are gonna be like, F that. I ain't returning nowhere. You're gonna have to make me return to my home, and they ain't gonna be able to. So the police are gonna be like, you know what? Forget being a police. I'm throwing my badge away. They ain't gonna be on that police spirit like they normally are. They're gonna turn that away, man. For there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, so they're not gonna be trying to listen to what any of their rulers say. They're not gonna listen to that curfew. They're not gonna want to listen to the curfew that's been implemented. They're not gonna care that they've said, people, you gotta go home and stay in your house. They're gonna be like, we did that already. I'm not doing that anymore. And these people are gonna finally lose faith in the society that they've been trusting in the whole time, even though the Israelites have been telling them that they're wicked. And before we even knew that we was Israelites, and we just thought we were so-called black people and colored, we've been speaking about how unrighteous this society was. But you people thought, fuck what you're talking about, because you're just niggers. That's what you people thought back then. You thought, man, you're just saying that because you're black. And because you don't work hard, you just don't work hard enough. That's why you ain't got a portion in this. That's what you people thought, man. You thought, oh, the reason why we ain't got nothing in this world is because we're just black people. That's what you people thought, innit? But you're gonna find out that no, we knew what was really up with this world, man, and you people didn't know. For there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. And to go back on the sedition among men thing, I remember seeing videos on the internet of people burning down buildings and during the time of those London, Birmingham, and UK riots, man. People was burning places down. People was smashing open stop shops, right? People was just robbing things. They just found it fun. There was little groups of gangs and big groups of gangs that you could see, and you're like, man, these people are about that kind of grimy way, man. I saw them. I saw these people, man. I saw women getting involved in that stuff. Women with their buggies getting involved, telling little sons to run in the store and get mommy a phone and all that. I seen these kind of things, man. You know, that time was grimy as hell. I remember watching all the videos that I was seeing about the things that was happening in London and all that too. I remember that. That was a one crazy time, man. But people wasn't proud in that time. And a lot of you people that would scoff now and think you're some intellectuals and that, you people were scared to come out your house, man. You were terrified to come out your house because you knew that you weren't about that time. You wasn't about that kind of way of living, man. You people didn't want to be nowhere near around that. You were scared, man. But if that would have been a real time like that, the fear would have been getting brought to your door eventually, and you wouldn't have had a choice but to come out your house because people would have relieved you out of your houses. And that's why all you people that laugh about that kind of stuff and think that you're just so secure in your households and all that, you people don't know. The UK is not like that. The UK is pretty much a weird place because there'll be a place in one city that's completely poverty and another place that's nice as hell, especially in London. In London, there'll be £1 million houses, one place, and then like 5, 10 to 10 minutes walk down the street, there'll be places that's damn near like rough as hell. And the same thing in Birmingham too. And I'm sure that will be the same thing all across the UK. Same thing is in Reading too. There's many places in the UK, man, all over. So there's a close proximity of the people that don't have between the people that do have. And that's why I'm saying that. There's a very close proximity of the people that do, the haves, and the people that don't, the have nots, man. They're very close to each other. So all you people that are thinking that you're going to escape because you live in a nice neighborhood, well, your neighbor that nice neighbor of yours that you think is a nice neighbor. You might not even meet them people from the hood or those grimy areas, so-called grimy areas that you think are urban and all that. They're not even going to be the problem for you. It's going to be your so-called fake oligarch, civilized neighbors that are going to be coming for you. We ain't even going to be the problem. It's going to be you that's going to be the problem against yourself, man. But you people don't believe that. But that's all right, man. You're going to find it out. Let me get this. Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. So all the people are going to be fighting against each other, man. And when it's saying the Egyptians here, it's talking about the people that are in spiritual Egypt, which is America, but they're going to be all fighting against each other. But guess what? That's going to be happening everywhere. So there's going to be people that are in the UK fighting against one city, fighting against another, people within the city fighting against another. Places are going to be zoned off. It's going to be real scary, man. And that's why the Bible says this in the prophecies, man. Let's read it. Amos chapter 5 and 18. Warn to you that desire the day of Yahweh. To what end is it for you? The day of Yahweh is darkness and not light. And all you Christians out there that think that you're going to get raptured before any of this stuff takes place, you've got a big surprise coming, man, because you're going to be still down here on earth the whole time. Even when the lake of fire is here, you're still going to be down here too. You're still going to be down here when the charagma is here, right? When the charagma of the beast is down here, you're still going to be down here too for that. But you think you're going to get raptured out. No, you ain't going to be going nowhere. You're going to remain down here and get to taste of all of that destruction, man. Thinking you're going to get raptured out. You ain't going nowhere, man. You Christians. You're going to be right down here. Verse 18 again. Warn to you that desire the day of Yahweh. To what end is it for you? The day of Yahweh is darkness and not light. As if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him. So it's going to be like you ran from a lion and then a bear met you. Or went into his house and leaned his hand on the wall and a serpent bit him. So you're going to be running from one place of danger to another. Now let me use a even more likely scenario than that. It's going to be like you ran from a murderer, right? And ran into a cannibal, escaped the cannibal, and ran into a damn flipping serial killer. Yeah, it's going to be like that, man. Oh yeah, oh thank God. Thank goodness I escaped from that cannibal. Oh, but you escaped from that cannibal and now you're in front of a murderer. Oh, now you escaped from the murderer. Now you're in front of a biker gang that wants to damn sell you into some kind of human trafficking ring that they've set up. So that's what it's going to be like for you people, man. So all you people that think that you're ready for the day of the Lord, you ain't ready for that. You don't know what's happening in that time, man. You don't know that a sword's been getting sharpened while you people have been scoffing. You people don't know that. You people that love to try and have been always constantly trying to use the police as your personal private security in this world, being Karens and all that. But the time to come, the police ain't going to be there. And people ain't going to care about the police. And over here in the UK, the police ain't really like, as Israelites, we don't be trying to fight against no cops and all that. But the police ain't nowhere near scary over here as they are in America. In America, they be shooting people for fun over there, man. Over here, they're a taser, some spray or something, like apart from specialized gun police and all that. But it's gonna get to where they bring the military in and bring in martial law, man. That's what they ultimately want to try and do, to shut everything down. So they're gonna be lenient deliberately so it can go bad. That's what they want it to be like, man. And that's when all you women's pride is gonna be getting drained out, and along with you men's pride as well, man. It's going to be getting drained out in that time because you people are going to not be prepared, and we don't need to be prepared as Israelites for fighting and all that stuff. If we are training, that's just to increase our health, should be just to increase our health, because training and all that combat sports stuff, fair enough if we can fight, fair enough. It might come in handy at one or two situations, but Yahweh could make us be able to fight on the spot anyway and be able to damn lift a 250-pound man over our head and throw him about 100 meters away from us, man. Or he tries to punch us and he just bounces off, or he breaks his hand, man. Like that scene in Luke Cage where they punch him and they break their hand off his face because his bones are too hard. This is Isaiah chapter 13 And verse 12, I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. And that's talking about men that believe in the Lord, not just any everyday man. But then even an everyday man is going to be more important than they are now. Because there's going to be such scarcity of them, man, because they're going to be dying. They're going to be dying in wars. They're going to be dying in just everyday civil war things that's going to be happening. There's just going to be a lot of death out here, man. And women are not going to be proud in that time. They're proud now, but they're not going to be proud in that time. And women wasn't proud during any of those previous times that I mentioned either. Women wasn't really moving proud when that lockdowns came in March 2020. Neither was they proud when the whole thing went on with the petrol, where it was more expensive and there was scarcity of it. Neither was they proud during the events that I mentioned in London, Birmingham, and Manchester, them riots. They wasn't proud then neither. They wasn't moving proud then. And they wouldn't have been able to handle that time neither, man. It's a lucky, they wouldn't have been able to handle that time. Verse 14, Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 14, that shall be as the chased roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people, and flee every one to his own land. So people are going to get tribal again when things go bad as well. People are going to group themselves back to their original groups, man. Everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished. So it's gonna get like that, man. It's gonna get grimy out here, man. Like people don't really think that people will take it there, man. People don't really think that some of these loving moms that you see out there, that they're taking their children to all these places, they don't believe that if that mother was starving enough that she would eat her children. They don't believe that. A lot of you people really think that human beings are nice people, but what are all these murders that's happening in? Who are all these people that are scoffing on the comment boards and saying all these mad things all the time? Who are all of these people? These are people that are on the earth. Who are all these people that are secretly trying to promote perverse lusts on the earth and make them be normalized, man? These are the same people that are going to be losing their mind out here, that are already crazy, that people assume because they're faking like they're good people that they are good people. They're not. These people are lunatics. Just look at these people's beliefs. Look at these people that talk about how they want everybody to be joined into their groups and be accepted in the world, and look at how unaccepted they are. They try and push all that alphabet stuff on us, but they don't want us to be able to be like what we are. These people are crazy, and they're going to show it, man. Matthew chapter 24 and verse 12, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold, and iniquity is going to abound even more when all hell breaks loose. So iniquity is going to abound even more when all hell breaks loose. So the love of many is going to be waxing even colder in that time, man. But people don't want to believe it's going to happen, but they're going to see it though. If people are alive long enough, they're going to see it. They're going to see women being cannibals and eating their own children. And let me get that from the book of Lamentations, man. Because we've did that before. So why do you think that you people are any better that you shouldn't do it? Why? Who do you people think you are? You people think that you're better than Israel? Because you ain't. You ain't better than us. Let me get this. Here's one thing I read. Lamentations chapter 4 and verse 9. They that be slain with a sword are better than they that be slain with hunger. For these pine away stricken through the want of the fruits of the field. So people are going to be starving to death. And it's saying that, well, this has already happened, but in times to come, it's going to happen again, man. People that die by the sword are better than those that die from starvation. Because it's dying from starvation, your body's basically using all its resources that it's got left to stay alive. And that's draining. It's going to cause you to have mental problems, right? You're going to be eating, damn near trying to eat your own body in order to remain alive. You're going to be chewing at your own thumbs in order to be alive, man. Verse 10. The hands of the pitiful women have sodden their own children. They were their meat in the destruction of the daughter of my people. Now, if you wanted to if it was possible, and you was to have had a time machine to go back and see this stuff taking place, all that you would see all that you would do when you came back here to this present time right now, all you'd be doing the whole time is crying, man. Because you'd be like, how could people do this stuff? You wouldn't understand the dire straits that people was in to make themselves do that kind of stuff, man. You wouldn't understand it. You wouldn't be able to perceive that, man. Now let me read another thing. Lamentation chapter 4 and verse 3. Even the sea monsters draw out the breast. They give suck to their young children. Excuse me, they give suck to their young ones. That's talking about breastfeeding. The daughters of my people has become cruel, like the ostriches in the wilderness. The tongue of the suckling child cleaveth to the roof of his mouth for thirst. The young children ask for bread. The young children ask bread, and no man breaketh it unto them. So what's that talking about? It's talking about when the Israelites was catching hell during the time of their city being besieged, right, and surrounded around about, that they couldn't escape. That mothers was not breastfeeding their children anymore, right? And that the older children that was a bit older than that wasn't receiving any food for sustenance during that time, because everybody was selfish in that time. So the mother wasn't breastfeeding their child because the way how she saw it, she might as well have just drank the breast milk for herself to feed herself with that. That's the kind of things that would have been happening. She would have fed herself, or she would have said, I need my energy. I need to conserve my energy for me. I can't be affording to use that energy right now to give to my child. I'm going to drink it for myself, or I'm going to save my energy and not give my nourishment onto this child, because then it's going to drain me and I'm going to be even more hungry. But people don't want to accept this kind of stuff, man. They don't want to believe that, but this stuff happened, man. This stuff happened. When you read the book of Lamentations, there's many things within there, man, that are dark, man. That are dark. That are dark, man. And hopefully I made the point, man. And Salakia, I apologize, man, if I was like rambling on a bit too much throughout the lesson, man. But these things are important things to speak about, man. These are important points to speak about that show how dark this world is, man, and how dark it's going to get, man. Right? All praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the nation of Israel. Shalom.